On Friday, we showed you footage from the downstairs neighbor's cell phone video. However, this new body camera footage shows a different perspective on what exactly happened during the shooting.
Sheriff's office!
Body camera footage released Saturday shows Harris County deputies announcing their arrival at a tenant's apartment before shooting her guest multiple times. Over 30 shots were fired at the guest, who was thought to be an intruder in her friend's apartment. The tenant says they had to break in through the window because they lost their keys. The deputies saying they shot the guest because she came to the door holding a gun.
Ebony grabbed her gun and ran to the door. I didn't hear anything after that.
After the shooting, the tenant can be seen yelling to police that she lives in the unit.
I live here! This is my home!
When Ebony was shot, I was not going to come outside. It took a while to come out because, of course, I was scared. I was thinking I was going to die. I was going to be next. I was going to get shot up next. That's all I could think. I was thinking I wasn't going to see my son again.
The aftermath of the shooting leaving the apartment in shambles.
This is a child's room for a woman that never fired one shot at them. Not one shot. All this was necessary in her own apartment, not breaking any laws.
Here we go again. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Mean tweet, no war. I had to launch it, man. So for all my people out here, this ain't no pride shirt. This is more of a hippie shirt. But if you want to show your support and mean tweets, no war, because all these cowards are mad because Donald Trump what he said on the Twitter was mean. It hurt my feelings. But going to war is meaner, okay, I would argue. Put in King Jesus, get 20% off the entire store. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live, make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. It's election season. So now I almost feel like MK Ultra manufacturing shootings is what they do. Because it seems like every election season there's an exemplification or a magnification of all of these controversial shootings. And now in Houston, Texas, funny thing is, everybody and their mama talking about this one. Benjamin Crump came from the grave to go and speak at the press conference for this one because there's black people involved and money involved and lawsuits involved. They don't care if a black man kill another black man. They don't care. They don't care, bro. Who cares? Brothers getting killed every weekend in Houston, Texas. But if it's a white guy involved, white women involved in this situation, now they all in their own, oh, it's too much, man, violence. It's crazy to me. But let's go over to this shooting. A woman was wrongfully shot. I don't know if it's justified or not. We shall see. But it was, I would say wrongfully shot. It was not the intended person, right? They mistake the owner for an intruder, and let me show you why. I'll tell you, and then we'll watch the video. A person called in and reported seeing two people breaking through a window and entering into an apartment. The police get there and they believe it's a break-in, right? The person calling in is saying people are breaking through the window of this residence and now they're inside. The person who called in have no idea that these people live there. The police is called, police respond. Now it's two female police officers, and you know how I feel about female police officers. It's like rolling the dice on some of them. So they're both two female police officers are at the window, and they're giving clear commands, acknowledging that they're with the sheriff department. They're yelling it loud, so much so the neighbors can hear. The woman in the house comes to the door with a gun in her hand, and they begin to open fire. Let me show you the video, and then we'll talk about it. Roll the clip.
New police body camera video shows Harris County deputies in Houston shooting a woman inside her friend's apartment after...
Hey, can somebody help me with the sound? You got to turn my sound up.
New police body camera video shows Harris County deputies in Houston shooting a woman inside her friend's apartment after mistaking her for an intruder. Deputies knocked on the door and announced them.
I want you to listen to this. The news never said she had a gun. I had to go do research on the website in Houston, like a local website, that said that she came to the door with a gun. They interviewed the young lady that was with her. She admitted she came to the door with a gun in her hand. The news never said she had a gun in her hand. Listen.
Cells after a neighbor flagged that the screen
was pulled off and the door, the window is knocked out right here. This is what cops walking up on.
had been removed and a window was broken. Here's what happened next.
As you can see, the deputies who...
See, they even said this wrong. The screen was removed and the window was broken. No, the person removed the screen and broke into the house through the window from the witness. That's what the witness was seeing.
It's important to note, have edited the video that you were playing for you, say an individual approached the front door with what they say was a gun and fired. Attorney Benjamin Crump says this video is evidence of unnecessary and excessive force. Jason Carroll has reporting. He's with us this morning. What do you know?
See, you hear what they said? That they said that she had a gun. They don't need, the news does not need to say it that way, because it's not only that the police are claiming she had a gun, the young lady that was there, who's an eyewitness to the incident, said that she came to the door with a gun. The news is making it seem like the cops are alleging this as if it's not verified. It's verified. The cops saw it. They saw it through the window. They yelled gun. And then the witness that was on the inside, which was two women in the house, she admitted that the young lady came to the door with the gun. Okay.
Well, look, what exactly happened here and who ultimately is at fault, if anyone is at fault, is all in likelihood going to be decided by a grand jury.
Glad he said that.
But here's what happened here. It was early Saturday morning. The Harris County Sheriffs got a call of a possible break-in at an apartment building in the Cloverleaf area of Houston. When they got there, a tenant directed them to the apartment in question, and they noticed that it had a broken window. Harris County Sheriff says that the two deputies announced themselves, knocked on the door. When they looked through the window, they allegedly saw a woman holding a gun walking towards the door.
They allegedly saw a gun. They're creating doubt in the minds of people who are watching this. It's no longer alleged when they have clear evidence that the lady had a gun in her hand. It was reported by the police officers, and it was reported by the eyewitness that was in the house with her carrying the gun to the door.
The deputies opened fire, striking Ibani Ponce. A second woman then came down the stairs with her hands up, begging the deputies not to shoot. Take a listen. Incredible footage there. Investigators learned later that Ebony Ponce was actually staying there with the other resident, and that window was broken because the two had forgotten their keys. They broke through the window so they could let themselves in.
New police.
Now, that's incredibly unfortunate, and there's no way around it. It's unfortunate. Is it unnecessary violence? I don't really think so. But let me just say this, because I want to criticize everybody in this. People, you run into the door with a gun is crazy to me. If someone's not, let me just explain this real quick, because I want none of you guys to get shot over something like this on accident. If somebody's banging on your door, there is no need for you to answer the door. You don't need to get a gun and go to the door. The best thing that you actually can do is if somebody's beating on your door and you think it's a threat, don't go to the door, call the police, keep your gun on you, get yourself in a tactical position in your house that if they break in your house, they don't know where you're at, you can bust a cap in them. Don't run to the door with a gun in your hand. What are you going to do when you get to the door? You're going to open the door and pull a gun out on somebody? That's not a smart thing to do, because you run to the door and you pull a gun and say, police. And then you're in an unnecessary shootout. So don't be the person that does this. And I've seen this happen so many times. As a former police officer, somebody's banging on my door. I'm not coming to the door and just trying to stand in front of the door to see if a person is breaking in my house. One thing I do if my wife is there, baby, call the police. I get the AR and I'm posting up, and with a clear line of sight to the front door. And if somebody force entry in the door, I'm shooting them and I'm listening. Are they knocking and announcing to make sure it's not the police? And if they don't announce or make clear announcements, then we shooting them. We shooting them. And if it's the police, then they just got shot. They were in the wrong for not making clear announcements. You have to make an announcement. And if I ended up shooting them because they did a forced entry, it's clearly the wrong house, because we don't have no drugs and we're not doing any crimes. So the police officers be at fault. I'm not saying just open fire on people, but be cognizant of those things. And for police officers, this is why they teach us in the academy. And I don't know how they teach these deputies, but this is not a good position to be in at all. This is not at all. You standing in front of a window. If the burglars were inside and they see you, they could just shoot through the window. You have to have cover and concealment, which means which means you have a physical barrier that can protect you from getting shot. And you also have a little bit of cover so they can't see your position. I mean, these women are standing. I mean, I don't say women. It's irrelevant to the women. These police officers are literally standing in front of the window and in front of the door. They have no protection right here. If somebody started coming with an AR-15, they shot and dead. And their position is apparent. They're right in front of the glass. This is not a good place to stand. Here's the problem with this. Here's the problem. Let me draw back on the criticism, because I do recognize that they are up on the second story. So in order to get up there, they got to go through this flight of stairs that's in a way up and down. So I get that they're there. I'll take that back. I will take that back, because I do recognize when I just saw it pan down that they're up on the stairs. In order for them to come and get to the door and confront somebody, they had to get up the stairs and they're stuck there. Now, here is a better tactic to use. All you have to do is make announcements. I wouldn't necessarily, in a tactical situation, you don't need to go to the front door. If you are under the impression, then this is what I'm saying. They could be right by doing that, because I can see how they can get up the stairs and want to use that tactical thing. That's not the best way to do it, but I don't think they're completely off, because sometimes cops take a chance if they're iffy. But if you actually think that there's actual people in the house that are burglarized, you don't need to go up the staircase. You can make announcements from below the stairs. Why? They're on the second story. Where are the burglars going to go? They're going to jump out the back window 2 stories down? Let them do it. They break both of their legs. That's an easy arrest. Or they come out the front door. They can only come down the stairs. So you got them covered. They can only come down the stairs. So you don't want to get caught up on that porch where y'all in the mix of that. Because if you start fighting up there, if somebody come out with a gun, now you're shooting, and you all with no cover. You can sit there. You can make announcements. The glass is open, right? The glass is open. Now, I don't know if they did make announcements, because I don't have a full body worn camera, but you can make announcements from the bottom story. If you perceive that nobody's responding, maybe the burglars are gone, you can make a tactical approach to go up to the door the way they did. So, but what I will say, without trying to criticize too much, I don't think they were in the best position. That's how this happened, right? They have no choice but to fire on this person. They have no distance. They have no cover, no concealment. They out in the open. And if the woman comes out with a gun, they got to shoot, because they can't hide. They can't dodge. They can't do nothing. They got to take action. And this is why I would argue that they shot as fast as they did. But you know, like I say, who's wrong in this? A grand jury will come to find that fact pattern out. The problem is that these are 2 white people, from what I see, or maybe one of them Hispanic, one of them is definitely white, and it's a black woman. With those line of facts, they're already going to try to paint this as a racial encounter. And the news already didn't tell you that it's confirmed that the woman had a gun. They're playing a scenario all over again. I would love to hear the press conference from your boy, forget his name, Benjamin Crump, and let's see if Benjamin Crump actually acknowledged that there was a gun. And it's unfortunate, but you cannot blame the police officers, generically speaking, in this, because what are they up against? They got a call of a burglary. Somebody forced entry through the window. The cops don't know who lived there. They go to the scene. They see exactly what was reported. A broken window, screen off the door, in the house, somebody's in the house. That is a burglary all day long, 24 hours a day. Then they make announcements. Sheriff's department. Then a person comes to the door with a gun in their hand. So now the police are thinking it's a burglary, and the burglars are now finna come to the door and shoot us. You know, because there's no real reason for a person to be a homeowner that hear you saying sheriff's department, and they come to the to the door with a gun in their hand. All right, I think I done made my point. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm out.